Alright, so just a quick video demo of what I spent the weekend doing. We're working on a point of sales terminal for the food donations at Skullspace. So the idea is if you scan a drink, it'll tell you, well, we recommend you donate $1 for this. Now, to make it a little bit more interesting, I wanted to do have it show art, either through the demos, or show art either through the transaction process, so like hints on as you go through, but also have like a screensaver that would scroll through some ANSI art. So this project was trying to figure out how to make ANSI art show on the Linux frame buffer, so the virtual terminal. Normally, the loaded fonts that you'll get, at least on Debian and Ubuntu, don't have the same CP437 character set, which means that for the special bytes after ASCII, so the ones that are like draw a box or draw a half-filled sort of a shape, those aren't loaded. So you have to find a font that has those. So I went online and I found a set of fonts that does. And basically what this is someone just dumped the character ROM from a standard PC BIOS and turned it into a font that the Linux terminal understands. So that's a PSF file. I don't know too much about those, but if I set the font, you can see it changed from what it was before to this new one. Then what we have is, ideally you'd be able to just shove the ASCII to the terminal. The problem is that the PSF font is mapped into Unicode, and the way Unicode works, you get the 127 characters for ASCII, and then there's a bunch of control codes after that. So instead of having like the box drawing glyphs and all those things, there's just a bunch of special control codes, and then they moved those box drawing glyphs higher up into the Unicode space. So what you have to do then, since I can't just dump it because the upper everything past 127 is now control codes, I have to convert it from CP437, which is the code page for IBM PCs, and transfer to UTF-8 because that's where they moved all the characters to. And then I made a little example, or a simple app that would add a delay between each character. So it's written in Rust. Let's see if I can dump it out. So it's temp bottler and then main. It's pretty simple. So source and then main. Doot. So it's pretty much built off of all the demos of how to do standard input, standard output handling. So create standard input, create standard output, create a buffer, so it reads a kilobyte at a time. We build a duration, that's for the pauses, and I found it on like calculator because baud doesn't necessarily equate to bits per second. I found it on like calculator and just threw in the values. So we grab 1 kilobyte of data. If we didn't get anything, we're assuming that it's the end of the file. And then we walk through the kilobyte and then dump a character, flush the output, and then sleep. So right now they're all hard-coded. I'm going to go back and add command line flags at some point, but for the time being, it doesn't really matter. So, and so with that, I just built the tool and have it here. So now, if I cat all of the different ANSI art files I got, convert the whole stream, and then put it through a delay line, it'll look like how it did when it was first released. Without the delay, it goes a little bit faster. Maybe you can pause it and see some of the other art that's in here. So it's just going to go through this. It's just sort of a fun thing to play with. I'm not entirely sure how to get ANSI art into ncurses. Some of the fighting I did today was trying to figure out if that was possible. It looks like ncurses takes the special control code bytes and throws them out. I might be wrong on that. I was trying to put in just standard ASCII values and it didn't come through. So I'll have to play with it some more. But at the very least, I've sort of learned how to play with this. And I'll get through it as time progresses. But if anyone has ideas on how to use ANSI art through specifically Python's curses, I'm using a library called URWID or URWID to wrap that stuff. But if anyone has an idea on how to do that, please leave me a comment and help out. Thanks. Bye-bye.